One of the reasons a lot of public perception is currently against Jacob Zuma is the allegation of state capture or influence peddling. The wealthy Gupta family is accused of using their friendship with President Zuma to boost their business interests in South Africa and beyond. On Wednesday morning, South African police raided the family's Johannesburg home. 3 people have been arrested, including one of the Gupta brothers. Both Zuma and the Gupta family have consistently denied the allegations against them. South Africans have been reacting to the police raid.
Yeah, it's about time this happened. I think everyone has been waiting for it. We've been wondering why it hasn't happened. But now that it's happening, I mean, that's good. Yeah, and as I say, about time it happened.
I hope that any hidden secrets may come to the surface, and that will give a lot of people in our country a bit of peace of mind, hopefully, and the hope that moving forward with South Africa will be a bit of an easier task.
I just drove past and I saw what was going on and heard about it on the news, and I just think it's quite a watershed moment in South Africa to come and witness what's going on here.
Well, let's get you more now on these latest developments out of South Africa. I'm joined from Johannesburg by CGTN's Angelo Coppola. Angelo, a very eventful day in South Africa with, of course, Jacob Zuma finally breaking his silence. Talk us through his response and his next move.
Well, he did say that he felt victimized, and he also spent a fair amount of time during that 1-hour monologue explaining his position, and he maintained that there's no rush for him to leave office. Perhaps more concerning or telling to the ANC was a comment that he made towards the end of his monologue, where he made a subtle and veiled threat that there are people within the ANC structures who don't like the way that he's being treated at the moment. He appeared to imply that the party could well split. It's something that the ANC is very concerned about because of the very obvious differences between the two factions in the party. He did reiterate the fact that he'd been given no reason for his recall, and that there was no party policy in place that could force him to resign. It also appears that he will remain defiant to the end and doesn't plan to step down, and still hasn't issued that follow-up statement that he promised to do. And from what we're hearing, Zuma might have one last card up his sleeve that he's going to play in a little while. We're waiting for confirmation on that, and we'll share it with you later. But everything could center around that or the debate and the vote tomorrow in Parliament, Lindy.
A man that is indeed full of surprises, Jacob Zuma. But of course, as you mentioned there, he pointed to divisions within the ANC. And this is an ANC that now goes into Parliament to debate a motion of no confidence in the president. Talk us through the process expected tomorrow and, of course, the likely outcome.
Okay, just a quick back step there, Lindy. Just to clarify, the EFF motion still stands. That's going to be heard tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. That's despite the fact that the ANC has planned to amend that motion of the EFF. That's because in Parliament, the rules say that any party can amend another party's motion, in this case, the vote of no confidence, provided it doesn't change the intended outcome. In this case, that's to have Zuma removed from office. And this opens the door then for Ramaphosa to be voted in as president as early as Friday. He will then, that is Ramaphosa, deliver the SONA, the State of the Nation address, on Friday evening. And clearly the budget speech, which is planned to be delivered on the 21st, is also going to probably happen on time. So whatever happens between now and the start of those proceedings tomorrow afternoon, it seems like the no confidence debate and vote will go ahead. Unless, of course, Mr. Zuma decides that he's going to resign between now and then. Lindy?
And of course, the other big event of today was the raid on the home of the Gupta family. Why is this significant, especially now, Angelo?
Well, the Hawks weren't raiding those premises in Saxon Wold. What they were doing there was they were going to arrest people who they considered, that's the Hawks considered to be flight risks. It's related to the Vrede dairy farm project, which saw around $20 million being siphoned out of that government project into various private people's accounts. One of them being AJ Gupta. We understand that he was arrested today, as well as the Free State Agriculture Department head, Peter Tababetha. And there were 3 other unnamed people who also were arrested. The Public Enterprises Parliamentary Committee did say to us that the arrests were a breakthrough and that they'd been anticipating this move. The timing of the arrests, though, had some analysts quite concerned because it's linked to the whole relationship between the Guptas and the Zumas, and the fact that there's a very close relationship there. And possibly it was a means to force Mr. Zuma into announcing his decision earlier. But again, all speculation right now. But we do understand that 2 people who were meant to hand themselves over to the Hawks this afternoon haven't done so just yet.